teaching our children disgusting things and driving cultural Marxism into our children, turning them against their parents. All of us here who believe in what we believe are fighting with their own families, their own kids, their own brothers, their own sisters, their own mums and dads. And that's what this is all about. Division. Keep us divided. Divided. Together we stand, and divided we fall. We've got to stand together. We've got to grow our movement. And on these radio stations that you hear, radio stations like Peter Williams or whoever, I know Peter Williams is slightly centre, phone them up and make sure you let them know how you feel. Let them know. I think personally we should move from the square and go to places like the Press, TV3 studios, stuff, protest outside their places, because it's them who are slandering us. Then they are. It's okay standing here, but let's face it, we're preaching to all like minds. We've got to get outside stuff. TV3, TVNZ, because they're the ones that are driving the lies. Them, on behalf of this government, because $50 million of your money, your taxpayers' money, has bought a lot of loyalty from the media. $50 million, and I guarantee you they'll be getting the same next year, probably even more. Loyalty. None of these minor parties, these political parties in New Zealand, are getting any say at all. None of them. Look at New Conservatives. I watched just the other day Leighton Baker doing the small parties meeting in Auckland. What a fantastic job he did. A new man. But he tells the truth, says it as it is. But is he going to get on the airwaves? He's not going to get in the airwaves. The only chance he gets on telly, they'll have an half an hour interview with him and show 30 seconds and paint him as a white supremacist and some left-wing loony or religious nut job. That's what they do, the media. And they do it on behalf of this government, this Marxist government, who we've got to vote out in October. Vote out. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but I'm going to vote for New Conservatives. Okay, thank you very much. That's me. Thank you. Anybody else want to talk?
Thanks, Cross Rubicon. Awesome, inspiring, truthful. Hey, Adam's just showed me a live feed right now. In Auckland, there's at least 500 people protesting in Auckland right now as we meet. Awesome. Keep it up, Auckland. Awesome. That's what we need to do. It's good to see the crowds gathering today. Hands up, it's your first time this morning. Hands up, first time being here. Awesome. Round of applause, folks. Got you folks coming. Folks, we've got to keep on keeping on with this. I spent the week last week on the West Coast. And my heart went out to the coasters. They've been hammered by this government. They've taken away their ability to build a new hydro dam. Absolutely devastating unemployment. They're shutting down coal mines over there. And as I talked to the locals there and talked about the current situation, you can see the fear and the distress in their eyes. Broke my heart. But that's what's happening. The country is breaking the hearts of communities, destroying communities like the West Coast. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. Yes. But folks, we are making a difference. You can see we're making a difference. It's evident because you're seeing the pushback on the media. All this nonsense about conspiracies, it's because we got them on the ropes. I saw fake news Channel 1 the other day do a beautiful, masterful piece of propaganda about meeting COVID sufferers. Absolute trash, absolute rubbish. They'd get the gold prize award for media rubbish and trash. But they're putting these things out there because we've got them on the ropes. And we've got to keep them here, we've got to keep punching, we've got to keep fighting. Yes. I want to give you a little bit of a philosophical strategy this afternoon. I think it's got past midday now. I need a coffee. I'm one short of a coffee at the moment, folks. But a bit of a philosophical strategy. 3 words I want you to remember, or invite you to remember, or 3 phrases. The first phrase is, we do not concur. We do not concur, we do not agree with the global politically correct narrative around COVID-19. We do not concur with that narrative. The second rephrase is we do not consent. We do not concur, we do not consent. We do not consent to the restrictions. We do not consent to being treated like children, being told by Mummy Jacinda what we can and can't do. We don't consent to Jacinda says. We don't consent to being treated like criminals who get locked down. You don't lock down civilians. What an insult. The language is an insult. You do not lock us down. We're not criminals. We do not consent to that. And the last rephrase, we do not concur, we do not consent, we will not comply. We will not comply. We will not comply to your track and trace. We will not comply to your face mask. We will not comply to your social distancing that makes everyone think everyone else has a disease. We will embrace one another. We will stand up with courage. We will not comply. And here's an example, an application for you. When you go to the wee shop and business owners and organisations are under pressure, they've been mandatorily told they must track and trace. They must provide the ability to get your wee cell phone and get your wee QR code there, put all your details down. When you come across that, here's my encouragement. Tell the store owners, I understand that you are mandatorily required to make this facility available, but do you understand it is not the law that I have to fill out this track and trace. It's not the law. And if they tell you, well, it's our policy, then you ask them, if I do not sign, does that mean I cannot enter? Does that mean I cannot use your services? And if they said, yes, that's what that means, then you let them know and ask them, do you realise when you make this position that you are violating my human rights under the Universal Human Rights Declaration? You are violating my human rights under the NZ Bill of Rights. Do you not understand that when you insist and tell me I cannot enter your library, your cafeteria, your pharmacy, that you are violating my rights to have the freedom of conviction, the freedom of thought and expression? You are bullying me and you are coercing me against my human rights. So I want you to leave you those three words this morning, folks. Three wee phrases to remember. Bit of a catchphrase to remember for application. We do not concur, we do not consent, and we will not comply. Keep up the great work, people. Keep it up. Okay, Mr. John Keating is going to come and share some words with us. Another legend of freedom, another local. Love this man, appreciate him. John, let's welcome John Keating.
Well, once again, good afternoon. Today, I'd like to talk about our week at the police station. This week we were supporting Omar, who lost his dad in attacks at the mosque. And he's calling for police accountability, because that's one thing that's really missing in New Zealand. And the thing is, how can the police actually uphold these laws when they don't understand the rule of law, sorry. We asked that many police this week, do they actually understand what the rule of law is, considering that